Hey everybody, welcome to JesusRantz. This one's going to be about leading others, okay? And I'm going to talk about an emphasis on leading others by example. See, I was like, you see a lot of videos about children doing things they're a little off, maybe a little bit too grown up for them, or maybe just completely off, cussing people out, at the store, or dancing in a way they shouldn't have. And then you get all these people saying, oh, I can't believe these kids acted like this, or where are their parents, or where did they get this from? I'm here to answer that question from you. Like, that's where they got it from. They got it from you. If you act all wild and go off on people when they don't act the way you want them to, or don't do what they want you to, or don't say what they want you to, they got it from you. If you're out there dancing like a stripper, if you're out there dancing like you shouldn't be, if you're out there dancing you wouldn't want a kid to do, then they got it from you. That's exactly where they got it from. You're their example. They didn't just dream that up. They didn't just make that up in their head. They got that from you. It's your fault. So don't blame anyone else. Don't look for someone else. Look at yourself and say, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. I'm someone's example. More specifically, parents. If your kids are doing stuff that you don't really like, most likely it's your fault. I got a daughter. She's 6, and Carly does some things that I don't really like. I mean, she's 6. She's gonna do those things. But first things first, me and Christy need to look at ourselves. And, I would say 99 times out of 100, that's what happened. She got it from one of us. So there's stuff that we need to do to work on. It's not even about what we say to her. It's mostly about what we do. She gets most of her stuff from the way we act. And the same thing with the world. If she's walking down the street and she sees someone doing something, she could pick that up. Or your kid, or some other kids. If some kid's walking by while you're talking about something you shouldn't be, or saying things you shouldn't say, they could pick that up. And especially if the people around you are enjoying it, they'll think that people enjoy that, and they'll pick it up. So don't blame anyone else but yourself. If that's the thing that you do, then it's your fault. It is. And so that's just really what I want to talk about is being an example, especially if you're a parent. I'm reading a book right now called Stepping Up, and it's about, right now I'm just in the childhood stage of it, and it's about a man leading his father. Okay, and I gave a sermon about this not too long ago, and I'll redo that. It was called Be a Man, but I just want to just focus on the example point. See, if you're a father and you have a son, or if you're an uncle and you have a nephew, or if you're a grandfather and you have a grandson, or if there's any child role model in your life as a man, and you have a boy that looks up to you, even if you don't think he does, he does. He's gonna look up to you. Be careful what you do. You are in a position of influence. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're acting right, especially around him, because he sees everything that you do. However you want him to be, the man that you want him to become, you need to be that man, because that's who he's watching out for. That's the example he has, is you. So it's up to you. If you want to shape him into be a great man, then be a great man. Be that man. Okay? If you have a daughter, on the other hand, and you're a man, then you need to be the man that you want her to marry. Okay? Be that man. Put that man on and show that to her. Be that example of the man that you want her to marry. Okay? My daughter was talking to me the other day, and she said, Daddy, I want to marry a guy with a beard. And I think that's awesome, because I love my beard. But that's just a small example. See, I grow my facial hair out, and now she's already talking about she wants her husband to have a beard. And I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, you're talking to your daughter about getting married at 6. Yes and no. I mean, me and my wife are 2 years married, so it's still fresh in her mind, and she's really advanced for her age, I would say, and so she's thinking about those things, but that's okay. My job as a parent is to get her ready for life. So if she's thinking about it now, the more she'll think about it, and the more she'll be ready for it in the future. I'm not ashamed of that. Okay? The same thing for a woman. If you have a daughter, or if you have a young lady that looks up to you, you're her role model. So you need to be that woman you want her to be. Okay, and you need to surround yourself with men that you want her to marry. Okay, if you don't like the relationship you're in, or if you keep bringing men in and out of her life, that's what she's going to think is normal. That's what she's going to do when she gets older. So don't do that. You know, one of the best things that I liked about Christy, I fell in love with, was that she told me right away. She said, look, if you want a relationship with me, then we're going to have to go all the way, because I'm not bringing men in and out of my daughter's life. She's not going to think that that's okay. And she doesn't, because she never saw that. She doesn't know what that looks like. She knows that her mom made a commitment and she's sticking to it. And I think that's awesome, you know. So she has a male role model in me, and I want to be a man that she would like to marry. So I hope that I can put that on for her, so that she marries someone that's following after Christ, that's serious about their wife, that's serious about their children, that's serious about being that man to look up to being that example. Okay, and it's not. I'm going to stress this all the time. It's not going to make you a better Christian. It's not going to bring you any closer to God by acting these things out. But at the same time, that is our job as Christians. Paul talked about it all the time. Follow my example. I'm giving it to you. Watch the way I live my life, and you should try to do that. Okay? But if you're living your life for Jesus, if you're living your life for Christ, people will see that. So who you follow is who they follow. Okay, I commented on someone's thing the other day, and it talked about no one was meant to follow, but I disagree. I think everybody was meant to follow, and the best leaders are the best followers. You're an even better follower, so I want to be the best follower I can be, and I hope that I can lead people to Jesus, because who I follow is who they follow. Okay, so I want to follow Jesus. So anybody who follows me is going to end up right at the foot of the cross, just where I'm going to end up, as well as my children. Okay, so that's what I want to harp on. Be that example. Okay, if you're a woman and you have a son, you need to be that woman that you want your son to marry. Okay, so if you're out all the time and you're acting up all the time and you're messing around with all these people, then that's the kind of woman your son's gonna marry. Okay, that's who he's gonna marry. He's gonna marry some girl that goes out and drinks all the time. That's not a good life for a man. Okay, and if you have a daughter and you're a woman, then you need to be the woman that your daughter, you want your daughter to be. So if you're out there, again, drinking all the time and messing around with a bunch of guys, even if it's just, flirting, that's what she's going to do. She's going to follow your lead. So I hope that sinks in, especially like I have a lot of friends, young, my age, with kids, and then they're still living the life of my single friends, and that's not right. Okay, I have a bunch of friends that don't have kids, and they live that life, and it's not the life for me, but that's mostly because I have a kid, and I follow Jesus, so I have to pour my life into them. I'm their example. If I'm not here, they're going to get it from TV, and TV sucks. They don't know how to be an example anyway. They're not trying to be an example. They're trying to get ratings. Okay, so they're not worried about raising your kid. And if you're letting them raise your kid's going to grow up to be bad. In all honesty, I mean, there's a chance that they're not, and it happens all the time where kids got ignored and they grew up to be, awesome functions of society. But if you play into, the percentages, it's not good. Like the best indicator of a boy dropping out of high school or going to jail or getting killed earlier, those type of things, the number one indicator is whether their father is at home. And then I would say not only at home, not only around, not just saying, well, I didn't leave him, I'm still part of his life, but if you only hang out with him 10 minutes a day or every other day, that's not okay. He needs a consistent role model in his life. If you're leaving him or her all the time, that's what they're going to be used to. They're going to be used to the man leaving all the time. That's going to be okay. That's not okay. It's not. I'm going to say it right now. If you're out partying all the time and you're out drinking all the time and you have kids, that's not okay. It's just not. I'd like to say, oh yeah, I understand, but it's not. If you're working all the time and you don't want to put it into your kids, then your son's going to want to be a workaholic, and that's not okay either. if someone came up to you and said, I'll give you $1 million for your son or for your daughter, you'd turn them away. You'd be like, dude, get out of here. I'm not going to sell my kid for nothing. Or if someone came, I'll give you $10 million if you let me turn your son into an alcoholic or a drug addict. You'd say, yeah, right, get out of my face. But that's the deal you're making when you're working all the time. If you're just working all the time, you're like, well, I want to provide for my family, and that's great, and you should, and I want to provide for my family, and I have to go to work. But if that's all you do is think about work, and you're not spending time with your kids, you're selling your kids for money. That's just the way it is. Or if someone said, hey, if you pay me, I'll spend time with your kids, and I'll put my life into them. You'd be like, no, I don't want you raising my kid, and that's what you're doing. You're trading money for that. All right, and it's not good. You need to be there for your kids, and not only there, but but positive. You need to be there for them a lot, and you need to be a positive example, and you need to be that role model. So I hope I can encourage you today to do that. And if you're one of those people that's out drinking all the time and you're watching this, let that sink in. I hope I change your attitude a little bit about what you're doing, and I don't want to make it look like I think I'm better than you, or I'm trying to put myself above you. I'm not, because I'm definitely not the perfect father, but I'm working at it, and I'm trying, and I'm working real hard, and it's tough with everything that's going on. But I see this world crumbling around me, and it's like, well, what happened? Well, what happened was parents gave up, and they let someone else raise their kid, and they decided to go party, they decided to work, they decided to do something else, and that's kids are learning to raise themselves. And so the people that are writing TV shows and all that, they get to raise your kid, so they get to choose how your kid thinks and the way your kid acts, and they get to learn it from the kid down the street whose father's not here. I don't want kids raising my kid. It's a scary thought to have kids raise your children. So I want to encourage you to throw away your childish things. Don't act like a child. You shouldn't be out drinking all the time. If someone said, I'll give you a life supply of beer and I'll take your child, you'd turn it down and say you're absolutely crazy. But that's what you're doing when you choose drinking or drugs or whatever over your children every single day. You're choosing those things over your kids. And if you're getting all gone and then going hanging out with your kids, it's not right either. They might not notice now, but eventually they will, and they're going to think that's okay. Hopefully they feel the opposite, and they want to do the opposite of you, but then you put them in a bad spot. Now they don't have a good example to grow off of, so now they have to just figure it out all on their own. They say, a boy without a father is like an adventurer without a map. That sucks. It could be done, but it's very hard. So don't let that happen to your kids. Be there for your kids. Be there for all those people who are looking up to you. If you're a Christian, it's the same thing. Like I was saying before, you're the example. If they want to know what a Christian looks like, it's you. So you need to be that thing. You need to be a Christian. You need to be like Christ. You need to love on people. You need to show them the way. You need to not be scared when something opposes you. You need to fight back. And this is what I'm doing here in JesusRantz. I'm fighting back against the culture. I don't want my daughter to grow up in this, and she's going to. But I'm going to do my best to bring as many people to Jesus as I can, and bring her up in a loving environment so that she can fight against the culture. Because if anything, she's going to grow up in a better culture, or she's going to want someone like her dad. She's going to want to be like her dad, who's fighting against the culture, who didn't sit idly by. So this is my call to you, parents, and everybody. Honestly, even if you're not a parent, you have grandkids now, I'm talking to you. And if you don't have any kids, I'm still talking to you, because you're around kids at some point, and I want you to be that light for them. I want you to be that example. I know you're thinking right now of one of your friends, or someone that's raising a kid, and they're never there. but you're around that kid a lot, or the way they're raising their kid, you're like, man, that's the example you're putting towards them. Why are you doing that to your kid? If you're thinking of them right now, you need to be that example, okay? You need to be that light, so that when you come to the house, they're like, man, I want to be like that guy. That's who I want to look like. My dad's acting up, or my mom's acting up, but man, this guy's on it. He's confident, he's comfortable, he seems like, he's got it all together. You won't have it all together. I don't have it all together, but that's okay. He or she will want to look like you. So I pray that you put that on. Okay. I think that's it for me. If you like my channel, subscribe to it, and you'll get the videos out before I post them on Facebook and stuff, because I usually have them up a few hours or a couple days before I actually post them on Facebook. So if you like my videos, subscribe to them, share them as much as you can. Let's spread the word, and the more people that see this, the bigger opportunity that we have to change the world. So just get it out there. You're not the one that's on camera, so you try to think of, well, I don't want my friends to think of this, or I don't want my friends to think I'm judging them and stuff like that. But don't be afraid, okay? Don't be a coward. Don't do it. It's better to die a martyr than to live as a coward, and I truly believe that. And if you're a man, cowards is something that's truly hurtful, and it hurts I hurt myself every day when I tell myself I'm a coward for not saying something you should have, or for saying something you shouldn't have. Either way. So don't do that. I know I don't want it for myself, and I don't want it for any of you. Okay, so I'm asking you, if you want this message to get out, if you believe in it, pray about it, and subscribe and share, and let's change the world together.